Well, hello. It seems like we're live. It is April 8th, 2019. No funny hats, no Alvin, just Eddie G trying to chill. You see, Mondays are bad days for me. Every week I have to start the week off with grocery shopping. That's an hour and a half of misery. Running around, looking for food, crossing things off lists. Then I had to pick up a broken computer and pay a guy to get the old broken computer back because he couldn't fix it. Pharmacies, bank machines. It's just like nonstop chores. But I do it because you have to do it. You can't get away. Okay. So I did it. I'll try to keep my grumpiness down to a minimum this week, not drag all the craziness into the show that I do. Eddie G's Music World here for another week. Somehow, April 8th, and we're still in the thick of winter. We're at 1 or minus 1 degrees Celsius, and it's April 8th. The cabin that has my tires in it is so frozen shut with ice that I can't even open it to change my tires. Okay, that's it. Okay, a couple of things going on since last week. Pretty sure neither of them were happening last week when I was on. So I'll just drop a little comments on them. Mick Jagger has had his heart pig valve operation, and he's already tweeted, or probably not him, maybe he has some underling do it for him, saying that he's recovering and he's like getting, it went well. And like I said, my mother had this. It bought her another 11 years of life. And Mick's about the same age as my mother was, maybe a year older. Probably in better shape. My mother couldn't run around a stage for 2, 3 hours singing, but he could. So he's in amazing shape. I did see him twice. Last time, 2005. And at the time, he was around 60, and I was marveling at his energy. So now he's 75. God knows if he's going to be able to handle the touring and the stage. I mean, it's not a life sentence, the heart valve, pig valve replacement. It just means you're slowing down. So if he's going to try not to slow down, may not be around for more than 5 years, Mick, but good luck. You might pull off 85, but by 85, you better just get the hell off the road. I think by 80, you should be pulling the plug. You need some old age. You got a little kid. You got a 3 or 4 year old kid. I don't think he needs to have his father's funeral by the time he's 10. I was 51 when I made a kid. You were 71. So, I mean, do what you want. Keep touring. Mick looks okay. I saw, not Mick, Keith Richards looks okay with his shirt off. I mean, he looks like an old geezer, but he's looked like that for 30 years. So, no shock there. And so his tour is put off till July, apparently. Cross your fingers. Another big, huge star. I was on the verge of buying tickets to see this guy because my broke friend said he would throw me a few bucks if I bought them. I was so close and I hesitated. And by hesitating, I saved myself a lot of aggravation because Ozzy has fallen on some, like the pneumonia caused him to fall. By falling, he re injured something that was operated on a year back or so, something like that. So, knowing Sharon, of course, no, I don't know her, but as I know about her, she's already rebooked the whole tour that she's canceled because, of course, she wouldn't be able to sleep tonight knowing her fortune was only 150 million. If it didn't go to 154 or 155, she would like have horrible depression because I've never seen somebody so obsessed with money. She can't let her old ex-drug addict sick husband, retire. She got to, it was one thing to put him on tour. At least she had the decency to cancel the tour, because she could see, well, the guy needs to recover from this, from that, pneumonia. How many things can you have go wrong? And the only main reason I would see Ozzy is because he surrounds himself with amazing musicians like Zach Wilde. I think he's still the guitarist. So, he has a big bunch of great musicians with him on tour. I'm not saying he's talentless but I know that he's fudged a few credits for songwriting that he hasn't done a lot of songwriting with. Because Sharon's manipulated Ozzy's name into the publishing and songwriting. And there's been a lot of people who've said that a lot of the earlier stuff, or even mid 80s or late 80s or 90s, has been written by other people completely. And Ozzy just, bullies his way into the writing credits because obviously it's millions more money when it's a big album. So both of those guys are on the mend. Mick seems like he's ready to get back out there a lot quicker than Ozzy is. Ozzy's younger, but he's probably abused himself a lot worse than Mick Jagger. I think Mick Jagger dabbled in dope and smoking up and shit, but maybe a little coke. But from what I read, he didn't get into heroin and stuff. So sounds like he's going to be he's in better shape than Ozzy, and look forward to seeing him. I'm not going to go see him out there because I've seen him twice in Mick Jagger and Rolling Stones, and it's a good $600-700, and I've already been blowing money on everything else, so I'll save that money. Okay, we'll get to our feature presentation now. Our feature presentation. Eddie G's Music World will look at the 500 albums. It's been taking a few months, but I'm getting there. We're at number 100. The Zombies, Odyssey and Oracle. The Zombies were just inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, it's funny because they're known for 3 or 4 songs, but obviously they must have had another 4 or 5 that people think are amazing, because why else would you throw them in? 3 or 4 songs is really not a huge, mass amount of hits. But maybe because they're in their 70s and they feel that it's time to honor them, that they're putting them in. I think the induction ceremony was a week ago or so, but it'll hit the TV by probably June, July. It'll end up. They take 6 hours of performances and acceptance speeches and stuff, and whittle it down to a couple of hours. Number 99, Sly and the Family Stone. There's a Ride going on. Okay, 1971. Kind of not much I know about this album. I can't figure on what the hits are on this. Maybe there aren't any, but it's his kind of 70 by 71. He was still a big deal and still could tour and get a lot of people and still come up with big albums. And probably by mid 70s, he was already like running out of steam. Number 98, Elvis Costello, This Year's Model. One of those guys. Well, at this time, he was kind of a punky guy. It's with the Attractions. It's kind of Radio was on this, and like, it's funny. The only real actual top 40 hit was the one written by Paul McCartney, Veronica. But like I've said many times, his ambition was not having top 5 or 10 hits. His music is a little out there, but not bad, pretty good, and he's experimental, and that kind of music usually doesn't stay in the mainstream for too long. So, but Elvis is still around. Won't play in Israel for political reasons, like Roger Waters. 97, Bob Dylan. Not shocking that he's here again. Excuse me. Not professional of me. Oh, I wanted to say, by doing this show, I finally made some money. I found it underneath the table. Okay. The Freewheeling Bob Dylan. Second album, 1963. Wow. Blown in the Wind, Masters of War on there. Young guy, at this point. He's probably 20 years older than me, so late 50s, late 70s now. But, Bob Dylan, much to be said, much has been said, much less will be resaid. 96. We're looking at The Who, Tommy. I just saw an ad for these guys that they're touring, and, well, like I said, I think last week, if they're bringing out the orchestra, it's kind of going to scare me off a little bit, but not a lot. I mean, I still might, maybe I will go. I don't even think they're coming here yet. They didn't announce the dates for Montreal. I don't think there's a tour date, but they'll probably come here. They're pretty guaranteed to get 10, 12,000 people. So maybe more. But this one was the album, which was the movie, Tommy. And I remember seeing it in 1975, and there she was, Tina Turner, the Acid Queen on there. Concept movie, never gave it, it kind of looks a little odd, but the music is what I really care about, and the music on Tommy was amazing. So I'll give him full marks for that. The movie, I don't think I hated it, but it was kind of weird. Rock opera type of thing. Pushing on through, number 95, Miles Davis, Bitches Brew. Okay, you know I got nothing to say about him. But it's in the jazz rock style, and there's just not much I can add. Number 94, again, another thing I can't say much about. Hank Williams, 40 Greatest Hits. I know of 2, 3, or 4 of his songs. I know his son, Hank Williams Jr., did the Monday Night Football theme, but he's been dead a long time, this father, this senior guy. And he's got a good voice, you know, twangy style, probably a very innovative guy. Died at 29 years old. Wow. Okay, we'll go to the next one on the list of The Price is Right. Number 93, Prince, Sign of the Times. I like that song. It came out. It was all about AIDS and other, you know, down things that he talked about. That song, at least, Sign of the Times. And apparently cost a lot to make this album. And that's probably the only song, because I see a lot of different names of songs that I'm looking at. And I'll be honest, they don't mean much to me because I don't know all the Prince songs. But 1987, it was probably the second or third album he had. Maybe fourth. I don't know. By Prince, I mean, Never Saw You. Just like Bowie, Never Saw You. But I'm starting to be soured on these concerts. I mean, here I was spending all this money on Kiss and miserable because of my leg and the assholes in front of me blocking my view and the hour delay and, you know. Buddy Holly, 20 Golden Greats. I didn't think he had 20 really popular songs, but maybe they grabbed a bunch of songs from different records and put it out there. Well, I wonder if Paul McCartney still owns the rights to some Buddy Holly songs. He used to, but maybe he sold them. But I know he did publishing. Not Fadeaways on there. Peggy Sue, Rave On. I know those. And we don't need to go into the Dying Too Young story. It's been done to death, so to speak. Elton's here. Elton John, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, 1973, and it's at number 91. We all know him. He's got all those great songs, probably 45 or 50 hits, and just started as he's in the midst of his farewell tour that's lasting 3 years, so kind of like Kiss, where they take 3 years to say goodbye. But he's 71 years old. Makes sense, you know. You got to stop at some point. You could still be creative and you know, do something musically. But he even said he's tired of putting records out that don't sell anymore, which is true. I doubt if any more than 100,000 people around the world are going to go run to legally pay, download, record, a CD, whatever you want. But when it's a big album like this, there really isn't going to be any real point to start giving you a background and description of the record. You know it. It's Elton John. He sold 100 million records. You know, great songs on there. Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding, etc. Another, you know, not overdone, but someone you know a lot about. Stevie Wonder, Talking Book. Let's see what songs are in the Sunshine of My Life. Unfortunately, these songs are turning into songs that I close the radio on when I hear them. Because, You're the Sunshine of My Life. It's since 12 years old till today. I mean, it's going to show up in the radio every couple of months. It's every few months. And I heard it thousands and thousands of times. And Superstition, it is great, but again, they played it to absolute death. Too much. It's like a Beatles song. Let's hope the Beatles are not next, because that's too much. Number 89, Dusty Springfield, Dusty in Memphis. Had a few good songs. I like that Pet Shop Boys mix she did. Came out as a lesbian, which was courageous in those days, probably the 80s or 90s. She accepted that. She had said it in the late 60s when some of the Preacher Man came out and all that. I'm not sure how well that would have gone over, but she lived into the 2000s, so it would have been different if she came out in the 2000s. But by that point, other than the Pet Shop Boys song, she didn't really have any other hits since the 60s or early 70s. But definitely a nice, sultry voice and worth listening to. For sure. London Born, she sounded like a soul singer, kind of. Number 88, we're going to go to 80, and that'll kind of wrap it, because my hour shows, I mean, I don't know. You know what? I put Howard Stern down a lot on the website, saying that he's lost his touch and his stuff is repetitive. But how the guy strings 4 hours together, I don't know. But he does have a team full of people writing stuff for him. But the energy to talk for 4 hours, 3 times a week, used to be 5, but still 3. He's got to do an hour or 2 preparation, talking 6 hours. It's a full day if you really, really look at it. And then he's got to make sure everybody else does their job, like all the co-workers. But they input stuff, they create stuff, they write stuff. He's not pressing a lot of buttons. He's kind of letting Fred do that. So he's working, but he's not doing everything. But still, I'm wondering if I was hired one day to do a 4.5-hour show, I would have to have some help, because, I don't have the energy I used to have, and he's 6 years older than me. So whatever energy he has, he's got to be a little less than it was at my age. But if I was 65, if I make it, I don't know. I'll try, I guess, if I'm at that point. Johnny Cash, number 88, Folsom Prison. I think this is a pretty famous album. Boy Named Sue might have been on here. I don't know. It's obviously live in the prison. So these guys must have been happy. Not as happy as if it was some hot woman, but still Johnny Cash. The rebel. He gave people the finger. Passed away 2004. But they were happy. The 2,000 inmates that saw the show live were happy. Here he is, Mr. Floyd Pink himself, The Wall. We know Roger Waters wrote a lot about his experiences, lost his father. But in this town, if I hear Come From Me Numb one more time, I'm going to smash the radio. It's enough. And another brick in the wall, too. Maybe he should give his wall to Donald Trump. He seems to want a wall. Sold 15, 20 million around the world. Roger Waters still touring. David Gilmour selling his guitars. I don't know if he's giving the money to charity or not, or it means that he's finished, because he obviously isn't. Pink Floyd is no longer an active band. He could make it one, but I don't think I don't know why he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't feel like it. Neither does Robert Plant with Led Zeppelin, so it's nothing shocking. But this was, I saw this. Did I see this tour? No, I saw Roger Waters solo put up The Wall and take it down by the end of the show. So I did see Roger Waters do The Wall. It was quite entertaining, but after 2 Roger Waters concerts, it's enough. Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA, another mega album, number 86. A lot of writing by Bruce. He does a lot of the writing, producing. Miami Steve Van Zandt definitely did some producing on this. Kind of bridged the gap between commercial and rebel. See, that's the thing with Bruce. He's the rebel who talks about the downtrodden and all the sad, lonely, broke people in New Jersey. But meanwhile, he's cashing in. How much does he give to those poor people? I don't know. Sure, he gives something. Pretty hard not to give anything when you come across as Mr. Jeans and red hat in your back pocket, and you eat in a restaurant with lots of people. You go to a gym, like I heard, you go to a gym where all the nobodies are there working out. It's not some celebrity gym like Howard Stern or other famous people go to where it keeps out the riffraff. So they hear things. I hear things, but we'll see. He's still going. Still, he was doing the Beacon Theater or one of those places where he'd show up, for 4 or 5 nights a week for a year or so. And I don't know, he's maybe residency in Vegas is next for him. Next on the list, Aretha Franklin, Lady Soul, recently passed, number 85. Chock full of hits, probably. People get ready. Well, it's a cover, but still. 1968. Since You've Been Gone is known. Chain of Fools is on here. I'll give her all the credit that people lavish on her because she does have that magic voice and she knows how to interpret lyrics and sing. So, oh my God, she's next on the list at 84 too. I never loved a man the way I loved you. Lots of love for the soul singers, yo. I said to a friend, I said, I'm going to do a black voice. And he said, don't do it. But just for Aretha, I'm going to do a little bit of black voice. People say, I didn't pay my bills. Aretha's known for doing, she was known a little bit for having all these contractors come to the house and they fixed stuff for her. And the rumor was, wasn't paying the bill. The people would waive the bill. Hey, Aretha, you owe me $500. I know, I'm not paying it. And these stories were out there. But maybe she settled with these guys on these bills. I don't know. The bills came in. Aretha didn't pay. Hey, look, the Americans, they got a president who's famous for that too. But he's still alive. And Aretha, she's gone, gone, gone. In the ground she is. Aretha is gone. I'll miss you, girl. Here's another guy. I'll do a black voice again. What the hell's the difference? Nobody listening? Maybe the Greekster, Creeper Freak, and one sad character that got lost and he ended up on Eddie G's Music World. Here he is, Jimi Hendrix Experience, Axis bold as love. How am I supposed to know that my boy is going to pick up a guitar and be one of the greatest of all time? 27 years old. He's mixing up that heroin or he's falling asleep in the pool. I don't know what the fuck this guy doing. But he's gone too, 27. So there we go. Little Wing was on here. No, got me some chicken wings. I don't know what to say about Jimmy. Jimmy's gone too. You don't miss Jim? I don't really miss you, to be honest. Neil Young. He's a white boy. He's a white boy from Canada, for Christ's sake. But he was in a group called the Minor Birds with Rick James, Super Freak Man. They was together in Canada. And what are the odds that an unknown band like the Minor Birds would spawn two big stars? Because Ricky, he had some talent to that guy with the producing, the Mary Jane girls. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. He knew what he was doing. But he ended up locking a girl in his house as a sex slave. Rick, that wasn't good. And then you died. But nobody cares about you anymore. You're a dead man. Anyway, Neil, I did see the man live. He's rocking and rolling with the long hair, bipping and bopping and bopping and bipping and singing and guitaring. Heart of Gold, #1. Yes, we know, Neil. You're the man. What are you up and doing? You dumped your wife that I saw on that show. I forget her name. It don't matter. You dumped your wife for Jackson Brown's ex-girlfriend. What's her name there? Daryl Hannah. I thought Daryl meant Daryl Hall, but Daryl Hannah. She once locked herself to a treaty. Can you believe it? So he's shacking up with her. He's got some kid with medical problems. I don't know what she's got. It don't matter anyway. Listen, nobody cares that I'm doing an accent. It's just a joke. Here's the last one of the week. We're going to do it. Now, these guys that I'm up next are number 81 is The Clash. The Clash. Oh, the world's clashing. Punk superstars, The Clash. There he is. Okay. Again, same things like the other ones. They were not the popular band. They were the punks. They were like, the rebels. It all starts with the rebels. As soon as there's a few bucks on the table, the rebels are gone, and then the guys want money. Oh, I wrote this. No, you didn't write it. I wrote it. Well, I played the drums, so I wrote it too. Okay, we'll give you 25%. And everybody's fighting. But this album here, The Clash, there wasn't no big American songs on there because it was too crazy. I heard that album because my friend, we used to call him Jackson. His name was Neil Tynan. Yeah, Neil Tynan was his name, a crazy druggie. And he lent me this album, The Clash, and I thought, wow, these guys are great, but they weren't selling records here. Nobody. I don't know how we found this shit out, but I liked it. White Riot, Class City Rockers, Career Opportunities. I know all those songs. They were great. And then I said to myself, what's going to become of these Clash people? They're going to be living off a few bucks every year for the rest of their lives. But then they came out with this Sandinista, and that thing was huge. And they didn't have no hits on there. No, nothing. But you know what? The album after that, Combat Rock, I think it was called. And what do you know? Rock the Casbah. Wow. That was good the first 500 times. But the last 2,000 times, no. I don't want to hear that we don't like it. It's boring. It's enough. It's enough. Stop listening to that song. Break it, smash it, throw it in the garbage with the U2 song. Anyway, I must say that it's all gone for the week. I can't see my screen. Maybe it's there. Oh, there it is, Eddie. Eddie trying to sound like he's somebody else again. What's he doing with all this experimentation? Well, Eddie G is saying to the world, I hope those buttons were pressed properly. I hope I didn't click on something the sound is muffled. Too many problems. But Eddie G Music World for the week is done. Going to finish off like a black man. It's not racist. I love the black people as much as the Chinese. It doesn't make a fucking difference to me. Salut, bonjour, tabarnak.